the economy is what is on everyone's lips right now that they feel some sense of comfort that the numbers have come down. And I can sort of see people starting to relax, and that's another topic in and of itself around case numbers. But the topic at the moment is, what does the economy look like for the next 6, 12 and 18 months? I mean, it's obvious unemployment is massive. I think on Martin's piece last night, the job numbers and revenues are down like 30 and 20% in both arts and hospitality. So those are the two industries which have been devastated by this. And we're starting to see this trend in mortgage pressure in houses, and real wages starting to come down, but savings starting to increase. So he was saying in this live stream that it's very hard right now to predict where things are going, but you can imagine if things are cut off in September, we're going to have a massive deflationary moment in the economy. So I guess from your perspective, what are you thinking about in the next 6, 12 and 18 months for what's potentially going to happen?
Like I say, that no one can be sure, and I think that the temptation is for people to have hot takes, because that'll make for good content and LinkedIn posts and things like that. So look, I can't say what I'm thinking for the next 6 to 12 to 18 months is going to happen. I know what I'm observing in real time. I've made some bets on that have turned out right so far. So my general thesis, probably for the past sort of 4 weeks since my sort of tracking of the health data started to sort of show or started to point at the situation that we're in now, which is that I think there's what I'm referring to as sort of an opportunity for optimism arbitrage, which is that people, and this is probably largely, or not largely, a massive contributing factor to this is the media, but people in Australia have a very pessimistic view about what's going to happen to the economy. They have a very pessimistic view about the future, and yet if you ask them, and this was in that McKinsey report, that they then self-report that they don't have as pessimistic view about their personal sort of situation. So the single biggest concern in the McKinsey study that people had about the impact of COVID-19 was Australia's economy. That was the single highest thing that gets rated as a concern.
Yeah.
And then way down the list, so that's up around 60%, way down the list around 30%, you have people being concerned about their job and being concerned about, I think they phrase it as being able to make ends meet. So there is a huge gap between the level of concern about the Australian economy and the level of concern about people's personal situations. Now, I don't want to make the fatal mistake that so many people make, which is equating or trying to treat an economy like a household budget, because it's not. But that gap is so large that there is this sort of what I'm calling this optimism arbitrage opportunity, which is the future is probably we can be more optimistic about the future than we're acting. There is more downside priced into markets. There is more pessimism built into modelling, and that things will probably be more optimistic in the long term, or things will turn out more optimistically in the long term than what's currently, the easiest way to look at it is what's currently being priced into the market. But that flows through to what the impact on sort of so many things is going to be. And now that the caveat to that is any recovery, when we're talking about sort of positive sort of impact versus what we're expecting, is that any positive sort of change is going to be so secular. It's no matter what, people in the tourism industry, people in the airlines in for a really, really bad time.
Yeah. It's going to be industry specific.
Yeah, but people who work in banks aren't. And so you have entire industries, you have entire, swathes of the population distributed not quite randomly, which I think is there's a danger of real inequality in this recovery as well. But what you have is you have, lots of people who are not going to feel a major economic impact from this 12 months. They'll feel it will be a, mild recession sort of impact. And then you'll have other people that will feel a huge impact. But those people who feel a minor impact are also going to be living with record low interest rates, with, the RBA yesterday, I think, was talking about, sub 2% inflation, and it will probably be quite low sort of inflationary environment. And so, reasonably, those people will be spending. They will have also gone through, and I haven't actually looked at household savings, or if there's been a household savings report in the past couple of months. But I would take a stab that if you look at people who still are doing their jobs, if you look at white collar workers that are working at home, if you look at people who sort of haven't had a big hit on their income, I'd hazard a guess that savings rates are through the roof, simply because we can't do stuff.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think the recovery is going to be, or not even the recovery already. I think there's a sort of arbitrage between what people are sort of expecting to happen and what is going to happen. And at the same time, I think the watch out there is that it's going to be secular. It's going to throw up massive opportunities for inequality that we probably should watch out for as well.